At 13,000 feet, I stepped into the hatch and I jumped. I didn't have to tell my parents, I'm all grown up, that every year 1 million people go skydiving and only 30 people die. I didn't have to tell them that, you know, for 7 minutes I'd be airborne and only one of those, maybe even a little less, would I be free falling. I didn't have to tell them that, you know, George Bush Sr. did it, so I'm thinking maybe I'm okay. I can do this. But it's my MO that, you know, when I broadside them with my next great adventure, that I at least buffer it a little bit with some of the reams of reassuring research that I did before I've come to my conclusion. I mean, after all, the refrain in our house growing up was always just, you know, try something new, give it a shot, do your best. And they meant it. And they meant it when they said, if you fail after you've done all that, it's no big deal. Once, in the 5th grade at a swim meet, I got disqualified, and I was really bummed. And they would needle me and try and get me out of my funk by saying, you know what DQ stands for, right? No. Dairy Queen. We're getting peanut butter parfaits. And we did. These are my parents. So here I was with this decision, and clearly I trusted the science, and they'd come to trust my judgment. So I wasn't going to screw this up. I knew that all these decisions I'd made, from being subpar in swimming to being wobbly, growing up in the, you know, ballet studio, to walking around like a drunken sailor on the balance beam in gymnastics class, they were all leading up to my next big thing, and this was it, and I wasn't going to blow it. So, before dawn, I drove up to the skydiving school, and I had this really nice greeting. The dive instructors were there, and they looked at me, and they just said, "Blue skies." What? I mean, I had a lot of coffee. Maybe I hadn't heard them right. No, blue skies. And I figured it out. What they meant, blue skies is like some version of that Irish blessing, you know, may the road rise to meet you, some sort of, I thought maybe a dash of Jedi blessing, you know, like, may the force be with you, and a little bit of something I didn't quite know, but the bottom line was I felt comfortable and trusted my life to these people. They had made me feel warm and calm, and like this was going to be okay. In fact, one of the instructors, she was going to be falling with me, and at the appointed time, she was going to let go. At 12,000 feet, in the position that they had taught me, I do as I'm supposed to. I check my altimeter, I check with my instructor, she gives me the thumbs up, and inside, I am so doing my happy dance, but I am not losing that balance. So I stay, and I know it's time for the next step. I gotta move. Now, when they were teaching us down in the flight school, when we were safely, calmly on the ground, it had been a piece of cake. Moving is just about the angles to turn and to move forward and even to roll. When we were going around on the scooters like those that they have at garages, where, you know, they have those wheels, and we were trying this out, it was even fun. Up here, my muscles are clenched, my bones are clenched, my eyes are clenched, my toenails are clenched, my teeth are clenched, my eyelashes are clenched. I have no control. I'm as taut as a guitar string. And my thoughts, forget about it. They want nothing to do with me anymore. Yet somehow, I managed to do what they taught me, and the next thing I know, I am eye to eye with my instructor at 12,000 feet. Oh my fucking God! But I do not lose my balance. I am not losing my balance. Her cheeks are flapping like laundry in the wind, and mine are flapping back at her, and we are grinning. And I know if I could see my eyes, that it would be like fireworks going off inside a barn. I mean, I am just on fire. I am nailing it. And I'm thinking, yeah, this is blue skies. I get it. But I only have a second. It's time to get back in position. We're moving on. So I'd done what I came for, just like that, and I was ready to land this puppy. I'm back in my position, checking my altimeter, checking with my instructor. She gives me the thumbs up. I wave her off. I am already in my head scripting my touchdown dance. I have done this. I prepare to pull my ripcord, and I pull, and I pull, and I pull, and it doesn't budge. I look to where my instructor had been. She's delayed pulling her own chute, and she is falling with me. She's trying to tell me something I can see, and maybe she's trying to get closer, but I can't really tell. And then her own chute deploys, and she disappears above me. That's the last time I look at my altimeter. A couple more times, I try tugging on my chute, and then I stop. Instead, I fixate on the fast approaching geometry that I know is the barn roof and a front lawn and a cornfield. I think of the children that I know are on the edge of that field, watching the canopies deploy, blossoming seemingly out of nowhere like flowers and falling like petals, hoping they don't see me. I think of Wile E. Coyote after he's followed that good old roadrunner off the edge of the cliff, and he's poised for a second over thin air, and he looks down, and he pulls out his sign. Oops. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I had figured I'd run into the laws of motion up here, hadn't counted on the Looney Tunes. But here I am, and I can deal with this situation. I think back to when I was back in the plane, and they'd open the hatch, and it had all been backwards because the air was coming in and people were going out, and what was I supposed to do? And the only way I could move forward was by tucking away my thoughts, finding a mental balancing point, and letting go. So again, that's what I did. And for a moment, it was like I had some sort of situational LASIK, and I could see things really, really clearly and feel them really, really acutely. And then my reserve popped. And it was sort of like, not only they put a canopy in there, they put some admonition. Like, if this thing goes up, the person who needs it clearly needs a little talking to, because something is wrong. I am your plan B. Why did you not think of me? Get your shit together, chick. And I did. I looked down. I saw, okay, here are my options. The ground is coming on really fast. There's the lawn. There's the roof. There's a cornfield. No. Amber waves of grain. Sounds good. Here we go. I had one last vision of Wile E. Coyote climbing up the air like a ladder to try and get away from it. But in the end, I said, nope, let's just go for it. And I pulled down, and I prayed. And when I got up and out of that cornfield, I had a finger that was pointing the wrong direction. I had a crazy love and appreciation for corn and the farmers that grow it. And I had a new mantra of my own to guide me and to add to all the different mantras, my parents' sayings that I keep inside and that guide me like prayer flags. And this one, it's simply blue skies.